Hey friends, welcome back to my channel. Alright, so this video was originally supposed to be the second half to my 22 books to read in 2022 series, and I was going to read 4 fantasy arcs that I had, and I had filmed a whole introduction and some updates and all of this stuff, and then I decided to do a first chapter challenge as like the first part of the video, and I was going to choose which book, like the order in which I read the books based off the first chapters, and I decided to DNF 2 of the books because of that first chapter challenge. That threw the whole video for a loop because then I only had two books for that video, and I wasn't like overly excited about either of them. I just realized that like it was really bumming me out that I was going to read 2 books that I felt like were going to be 3 stars, and I was like, okay, well, I don't want to read these now, and I really don't need to do that video because one of the books I DNF'd was the other book from the 22 and 22 series, so I'm just going to count that one as a DNF. Essentially, it was City of Dusk by Tara Sim. I DNF'd this one. It's just, it wasn't for me. There was nothing wrong with this. I am trying to give high fantasy like a valiant effort, but I read the like prologue, the first chapter and part of the second chapter, and I didn't want to continue. Then I read the first chapter of The Bone Orchard, and I hated this first chapter. I just did not like it at all. I didn't like the writing. I didn't understand any of it, and I just this is not for me. That left me with 2 other books, and I was like, oh, I don't really want to read either of these. So I decided instead we are just going to do a regular weekly reading vlog, and I am going to spend the whole week mood reading, which I don't do. I don't particularly love mood reading usually. I like to have a structure and like things that I know I'm going to pick up throughout the week, but I am feeling a little, I don't know. I want to say I'm feeling a little moody, but I am just, I don't really know where I want to go this week. I'm feeling a little all over the place, and the only thing I want to read right now is Bittersweet Addiction by QB Tyler, and I have had this sitting in my Audible library for like a week. It's just like staring at me, and all I want to do is finish out this duet. So I'm going to start with this because that is what I want to read right now. I'm not going to tell you what some of these books are for because some of them are for videos and things. But like I said, I have a ton on my Kindle as well for future videos that I'm not going to tell you about, but I would like to get some of those. But I'm definitely starting with Bittersweet Addiction. I almost said Surrender. Bittersweet Surrender is the first book. Bittersweet Addiction is the sequel. It is a duology by QB Tyler. It is a cheating romance, so just trigger warnings, heads up for everyone who considering picking this up, but I really liked the first book. I gave it 4 stars. I liked it a whole lot, and it's what I need right now. So I'm going to grab some headphones. I'm going to probably get into bed for a little bit. My husband's gonna get home soon and we're gonna start dinner. So I think I'm just gonna like lay down in bed. My phone is dying, so I'm just gonna charge my phone and listen to my book for a little while. And then most likely tonight, we will just hang out on the couch and I will do like my cross stitch stuff and listen to a whole bunch, most likely, of Bittersweet Addiction. I was listening to this at like 2.75 speed, and I think this one's like 11 hours, but if I listen at that pace, I'll finish it in like 5 hours, something like that. I'll finish it around 5 hours. So I think that's what we're gonna do now. Yeah, I'm gonna go listen to some of this book just because I want to sit down and like reset after the workday and after that really failed try chapter tags. So I'm going to go read Bittersweet Addiction. Oh my god, my words are failing me today, guys. I'm gonna go start that book and I'll check back in with you and hopefully I'm more coherent then. Hey guys, happy Tuesday. I had to laugh because I turned on the camera and I was like, would it really even be a vlog of mine if I didn't have a clip of me doing my makeup? I have these, at least like 1 or 2 of these in every single video. It's just like the perfect time for me to finally sit down and film in the mornings. So sorry if you hate seeing me put on a face every day. But today is a filming day, so I'm doing the whole shebang. I'm just starting with my e.l.f. primer. So I didn't end up updating you yesterday because I started this new vlog a little late, and because of that, it was already nearly 5 o'clock. And by the time that I like turned off the camera and everything, my husband was like almost home. So I just kind of like charged my phone and laid in bed until he got back because my phone was essentially dead from filming all of those clips throughout the day. And so I just like laid in bed and listened to some of the audiobook. And then when he got home, we made some dinner and hung out for a little while. And then after that, I sat down on the couch and got into Bittersweet Addiction by QB Tyler. I'm gonna pop the cover up here. It's gonna go away because I need to like lean that way. But this is the sequel to Bittersweet Surrender. This is gonna get like super minor spoilery. So if you don't want to know anything about Bittersweet Surrender and Bittersweet Addiction, I'm going to leave a time here on the screen, and this will take you directly to like my wrap up of this book, and you can skip all of these like in between parts. Essentially, I'm going to say the name of the person that our heroine chooses, that Charlie chooses. I'm saying that this is a very, very minor spoiler because you pretty much know within like the first chapter of the book who she's gonna choose. This isn't really a spoiler if you really don't want to know. Go to this time and you can just hear my wrap up. But so this is following the aftermath of Bittersweet Surrender. So in that book, you are following Charlie, who is married to Matt, and they have this really toxic relationship. And she tried to get a divorce a year ago. He essentially begged that they try marriage counseling. And she was like, okay, fine, like we can try marriage counseling. And they have essentially been together since they were kids. They were like 17 or something like that or she was 17, like when they met. She was very young. They kind of like grew up together, and he got her out of a very difficult situation, so she feels kind of like indebted to him, but their relationship is just a mess. And they start seeing this marriage counselor, and she is very attracted to her marriage counselor. One thing leads to another, and her and the counselor start having an affair. Like I said, you know pretty early on that she is not going to stay with her husband. Like, they are absolutely miserable together. You pretty much know, like, she is going to choose Will, who is the counselor. And so she starts this affair with Will, and secrets start coming out and all kinds of crazy stuff. And at the end of book 1, she finally asks for her separation. And that, like, opens up a whole another can of worms for this second book. And I'm not going to go into too much detail about the second book because all of that stuff I would say, is a little bit spoilery. So her and Will are kind of dealing with the aftermath of their affair, all of the consequences, as you can imagine, that would put on his career as a marriage counselor. And you start learning some more secrets in this book about Will. So in book 1, it is like 98% from Charlie's POV. We get like one little clip from him like towards the end. And in this book, it is dual POV, so we're going back and forth, and we're starting to get some information about like the affair and stuff from Will's POV and like his feelings and things like that, as well as things about like his own secrets and things, because Charlie it didn't go away. She has like a dark past and like secrets and things like that. And now we're getting essentially Will's. This book is definitely heavy in theme. Book 1 was too. Like, if you are not into a cheating story, like, don't go anywhere near this one. It is all about cheating. Book 1 also dealt with abuse. And in this one, it deals with alcohol addiction. It is a heavier read. It's very angsty. QB Tyler, like, steamy scenes are so good. So good. But I am now like 50% in. I think I'm almost exactly at 50% into this book. And it's just such a quick read. So I'm definitely going to finish it today. I think I have like 3 hours left on the audiobook or something like that. It's not very long. So there was a morality question that was brought up in here, and I want to bring it up to you guys. So if you don't want any spoilers, I'm going to put spoilers up on the screen here, and you can skip over this section. But essentially, at the beginning or at the end of book 1 and into the beginning of book 2, you learn that the ex-husband bugged the therapist's, the counselor's office, and that is a massive HIPAA violation. Like, the ex could go to prison for this because you're protected under HIPAA if you are in any sort of therapy, medical thing, anything like that. Like, your identity and everything that you say in that room is protected under HIPAA. And so he bugged the room in order to catch him having an affair. He left it up for like days, and so he has all this patient information on this bug. So he's like, oh, I could like take this to court, and they're like, no, you'll go to prison for that. And so he's like, oh shit. So he gives them the bug. They're like, do you have a copy of this? Like, was it going anywhere? And he's like, no, this is it. And so they take it and destroy it. Now the counselor is like, well, I need to go to the board and like disclose this. because technically there was a HIPAA violation. And if he does that, he's gonna have to explain why the bug was there and like have to like own up to his affair. Whereas like right now they're in the clear. Like she's divorced, she's no longer a patient, like they could just coast and live out their life. If he goes to the board and does this, he essentially opens it up to lose his license. So there's this whole like morality question happening of like what is the right thing to do. And let me tell you, my moral compass might be slightly off because I would never say anything. For me, I'm sitting there going, nobody knows anything. Like, he didn't listen to the bug. You have the bug, you've destroyed it. Your patients won't be any better off if they know about this bug than they are now, because no one knows anything more. And they're like, but what if you made copies? What if you did this? And I was like, it would be so unbelievably stupid for him to do it. Like, there's no way that he could get off without going to prison for a very long time. So I was like, why? Why would he do it? Like, there's no reason. I was like, I would never say anything. I would keep my mouth shut and just like coast through my life. But I think he's gonna say something. And I was like, do I have like a shitty moral compass? I don't know. I don't know why you would tell them. Like, I don't know what benefit it has to tell the board other than like he's feeling guilty about sleeping with his patient. He's like, well, I took an oath and all of this stuff. And I was like, well, yeah, but you also took an oath not to sleep with your patient and you did that. So like, pick your battles, man. But anyways, that was a really long ramble about a moral compass that I apparently don't have. I'm just gonna finish getting ready here. I don't know if I have a meeting or not today. It's spring break for everyone in my office, not like for everyone in my office, but for all of their kids. And so half of my department is out for like half the week. I'm like the only one here. I keep sending them like memes and like GIFs and stuff of people singing like sad, lonely songs because I'm the only one in our group chat. But anyways, I think that's going to be it for this update. I'm just going to finish getting ready. I have a bunch of filming that needs to get done today. I need to do my April releases. I need to do my April TBR. And I need to do a recent reads video. I am going to finish up my makeup and then I'm going to log into work. I need to do a little stuff today. And then while things are running at work, I'm going to do filming. And then this evening, afternoon, whenever I start reading, I will check back in with you and we can hopefully wrap up Bittersweet Addiction. Hey guys, so it is now Wednesday morning. I have done an absolutely terrible job of vlogging. It's been a minute since I've done a vlog where I'm like taking you along with my life. And so I haven't been like taking B-roll. I haven't been checking in, and it didn't help that yesterday I ended up getting a terrible headache, and so I just didn't end up updating you again. But it's Wednesday morning and I'm determined to do better today. I slept like trash last night. I've talked about this in other videos, but with my anxiety, I have really bad insomnia. There are just some nights that like, even though I'm on anxiety meds and like a low dose sleep med, there are just some nights where I sleep terribly. And last night was one of those nights I woke up so many times and just could not stay asleep. We are just going to do some reading and chill. It is so rainy. It is so cloudy and rainy. It's like nighttime. But first, this is a reading vlog. So I finished Bittersweet Addiction by QB Tyler last night, and I am giving this 2 stars. I originally last night gave it 3, like a really generous 3 stars, but the more that I thought about it, the more I didn't like it. In this, we are following her and the guy that she chooses. This is their love story. There were so many things that I didn't like about this. So let's start with the things I did like. 1, QB Tyler's writing is very, very good. It's very readable. And so I was like, I read this whole thing. It's an 11-hour audiobook. I read it in 2 sittings. Granted, I read my audiobooks at 2.4 times speed, but I was in this book. At no point was I ever bored while reading. Her writing is very, very readable, and her steamy scenes are top tier. Like, they're really, really good. I just didn't like, these characters have 0 personality outside of their relationship, because there is no like development of the characters in here. It is just like steamy scene after steamy scene after steamy scene. There was nothing to latch onto. In fact, like at the end, our heroine sister was like, but you have hobbies. And I was like, what hobbies? Where? Because like I don't know anything about her character. Nothing. I know she has a mom. I know she has a best friend. Like there was nothing. I was like, I have nothing. And the hero is exactly the same way. Like I know like little tidbits about his past, but like there's no personality there. None. So one, there was that. Two, there is an addiction plot that is introduced that I did not think was handled well. In fact, like he goes to rehab for a week, and when he comes out, he says that he's all better. And I was like, that's not how that works. So I really didn't like how the addiction plot was handled at all. And then there were some other couple of things, like there were some things that were like introduced and were just like never addressed again, or were just like left hanging. It was like there was so much thrown into this book, like so many plot like elements to try and make it feel angsty, that the author started to lose track of them. And it was too much. There were way too many things throughout the book that they tried to do. The addiction thing and like family drama and like all of these things. And I felt like she just kept throwing things to be like, look, impact, look, impact. And I was like, okay, but now I'm numb to it. Like I said, it was just too much. It seemed like there wasn't enough time for her to really address these things. And so they were just kind of like quickly addressed and then dropped and moved on to the next thing. And so like I said, I didn't have a bad time reading it. It's just upon reflection, I'm like, this isn't a good book. So I'm going to settle on a 2-star. Like I said, at first I gave it a generous 3, but thinking about it again, I was like, no, it really is a 2-star book. Now I kind of have, I say started 2 books, but really I picked back up my audiobook of Empire of Storms. I am about 50% in. And this is going to be my audiobook. I had put it down just because I was prioritizing like some arcs and things like that. And I really want to get back into this reread. This is my favorite book of the whole series. I just love it. And we just got to the battle scene, like with the pirates, where Aelin totally screws up and like uses all her power without killing anyone. Too funny. And then I am starting this Melanie Harlow book. Make Me Yours? Is that what it's called? I'll have to look at the title again. But this is the second book in the Belmay Creek series. I read the first one, I think, which was Drive Me Wild, like 2 years ago. And I really enjoyed it. I ended up giving it 5 stars because it was so much fun. I just never continued on with the series. And I don't know why. So I'm picking this one up next. This is a single dad romance as well as a best friend's sister's romance. So we're following our hero, and his wife died in childbirth. And so he has a 9-year-old daughter, and he lives with his mom in order to like help him raise his daughter. The hero from book 1 is getting married, and this is his best friend. He's the best man in the wedding. And it is a relationship between him and his best friend's younger sister. She is a kindergarten teacher. She's recently come back to Belmay Creek, and she's also living with her mother in order to like help pay off her debt before she purchases a house, essentially. When they were all kids, the best friend and our hero were also best friends as kids, and the brother had all of his friends promise to like never date his sister, and our hero takes that like very seriously, even like 30 years later or whatever, or 20 years later. He doesn't want to like act on his like attraction to the sister, even though like every time he sees her he's like really attracted to her. And they had this really cute scene right at the beginning of the book because she comes over, they're gonna have like a girls' night with his daughter. She comes over to like pick her up, and he's like, all right, everyone keeps telling me I'm dressed bad for the bachelor party tonight because he's in like khakis and a polo. And she's like, well, yeah, you are. And so he's like, can you just like help me pick out clothes? Like, I don't know what to wear. So she goes upstairs with him to pick out his clothes, and she keeps like bending over, and he's getting like all excited watching her. And so she's like, can you stand up and show me the belt? And he's like, no. And she's like, just stand up. I just want to see what belt you're wearing. And he's like, no. And she's like, why would, and she like goes to grab him and like falls on top of him. And she's like, oh. It was really cute. And so like she like rushes out like all embarrassed. And I was like, okay, that was really adorable. It does seem like the heroine has been pining for him for a very long time, which isn't always my favorite, but it does sound like the hero has always been attracted to her as well, but she like went away for school and stuff like that, and so like they just kind of lost touch, but she's always been kind of carrying a torch for him, which isn't always my favorite, but we'll see how it's handled. Let's see. I think that's it for my reading updates. I've been talking for a very long time. I have my iced almond milk latte. I'm determined to update today and not like just ghost on this vlog all day. I'm gonna get B-roll footage. It's gonna be fantastic. I should have gotten some of me making my coffee, but I wasn't thinking. So I will check back in with you later today. Hey guys, so it is like 11 o'clock now. Yeah, just after 11. And as you can see, we're back in bed. Life with chronic illness. Super great. I am just not doing great today. I am freezing cold, so I have my heated blanket and another blanket. I am just feeling crazy nauseous, and I slept like trash last night. Yeah, I don't know. I'm having a bad day. It's funny because like people have been like congratulating me for going back into remission, and I'm like, yeah, remission's great, but like I'm still sick all the time. Like I don't have symptoms and stuff like that, but like I just get so tired. Like I still get like queasy. I don't even know how to explain it. I'm so sensitive to everything that goes into my body. And so like drinking the wrong thing or like eating the slightest wrong thing can just like not set me off, because like I said, I am in remission. I'm not like, I don't have major inflammation, but you're more susceptible to like IBS and things like that with IBD. And so like I can just feel sick randomly. It's great. I went on a bit of a KU download spree this morning. So I downloaded the next Frat Wars. It's called Master of Mayhem by Saxon James. I read the first book in this series because of Mariah from Mariah Reads It, who I will link down below. It was so cute and so fun. This just came out, so I downloaded that. And then I downloaded 2 Fiona Cole books, the first 2 books in the Voyeur series. I've wanted to read Fiona Cole for so long. I'm just in like a really taboo forbidden romance mood, so I downloaded that. And then Jen from the Book Refuge and was it Tiff from Tiff Talks Pages? I think it was the 2 of them. We're talking about Lifeblood by Amara Ray. They were talking about how good this was, and I believe this is like a taboo, super steamy paranormal romance. And I know nothing about it other than they were both like talking about how good it was. I downloaded that because it was on KU. And I think I've hit my 20 book limit now. I'm not sure, but I am still reading Making Me Yours by Melanie Harlow. And I read like another 2 pages or something like that while I was doing some work. I'm gonna sit here and read because that's just all I want to do. I'm technically still logged into work, but I have some stuff processing, and everyone's actually out today other than me, so it's fine. My project isn't due until Friday, the majority of the way there, so I'm gonna take a lazy afternoon here and read on my Kindle. I have a kitty cat. I don't think you can see her. You wanna say hi, baby? Here's a kitty. She can usually tell when I'm not feeling very well, so she will come and join me. I think that's it for this update. I'm just going to sit here, pet the cat, and read my book, and try to get warm underneath my heated blanket. So I will check back in with you guys in a little bit. Hello. So it is like 1:30. I have banana bread because this is just the only thing that sounded good to me right now. But I am about a third of the way into Make Me Yours by Melanie Harlow, and I have less than 3 hours left in the ebook, and this is really cute so far. I was a little nervous that it was going to be too one-sided, but the mutual pining in here is so good. So essentially the main conflict in this book is that our hero is a single father and his daughter is 9, and she's always had these fears. So her mother died in childbirth, so she never knew her mom, and she has a lot of fear over losing her father. One of the things that like she is fearful of is him getting remarried and like starting a new family. So she has a lot of these deep-seated fears about losing her father, and she is in therapy and things like that as well. And so he doesn't feel like he can date again because he can't essentially give his significant other everything that they need. So he's like, if I can't give everything to the relationship, then I'm just not going to do it at all. So he doesn't date because he just doesn't want to put his daughter into a situation that makes her feel scared and uncomfortable. I totally feel for him because like you can tell like he is lonely and he wants a relationship, but like he is so unwilling to make his daughter feel anything other than like secure. It's really sweet. He is falling for his best friend's younger sister. She's 30, he's 33, so it's not like there's this huge age gap or anything like that, but they are living next door to each other in their parents' house. We're just getting to the point where he is looking for a new home so that him and his daughter can finally move out and kind of like be on their own. He feels something for her and he really wants to act on it, but he knows she wants a future with somebody. She wants to get married and have kids, have it all, and he doesn't feel like he can give that to her. But at the same time, she's also really close with his daughter and his daughter adores her. So you can tell that like, obviously it's a bromance. Obviously they're going to end up together, but it's just really cute because like I said, I was worried that the pining was going to be one-sided, but it is not. That's where I'm at. Like I said, I have 2 hours and 50 minutes left in the book. So I am going to eat my banana bread. Maybe I'll check in at like the 2/3 mark and then again at the end. So I will check back in with you a little bit later. Hello, you are very close to my face, but there we go. So it is just about 6 o'clock and I just finished Make Me Yours by Melanie Harlow. And I'm giving this like a 3.5, 4 stars. This was really cute. His daughter Mariah was really adorable. She wasn't like, she fit her age, which is always I'm always a little hesitant when children are in romances because sometimes they can be like overly mature and it just doesn't feel realistic. God, my chin is so broken out. Oh my God. But she was like perfect. Like, you know, she wasn't overly written or anything like that. It was really good. And this had some really cute moments between them. They had really good chemistry. Like both of their characters were really good. And this did deal with grief and anxiety. The hero has kind of like bottled up all of his emotions over the last 9 years because the day that his wife died was the day that he took his daughter home. And so he kind of had to like put all of his feelings on hold in order to take care of this infant. And so he never really dealt with his grief. And so as he's entering into a new relationship, all of those like emotions start coming up and start manifesting as panic attacks. There were a few comments in this book that just kind of rubbed me the wrong way. Like the hero makes a comment and it is challenged, but these types of comments were in here more than I liked. He makes a comment about how therapy is for women and children and men should learn to deal with their emotions on their own. And like I said, it is challenged, like he's called out on it. But it just, like, there were a couple of comments like that throughout here where it was just like, well, that's not how men are. And I was like, why is there like toxic masculinity in this book? It wasn't my favorite of all time, but I thought it was really cute. 3.5, 4 stars. I think I'm settling on a 3.5, but like I rounded it up to 4 on Goodreads. I'm trying to decide what I want to do next. So I have so many books on KU downloaded right now. So I'm trying to decide if I want to pick up another one of those or if I want to get back to my listen of Empire of Storms. That's where I'm at. I'm not sure what I want to do. So I think I'm gonna kind of like sift through my library and decide if I want to read something physically or start listening to a book. I'll also see like what my husband wants to do because if he wants to watch TV, I'll listen to something while he watches TV and we can just like hang out. But if he's gonna go like play video games or something, I'll probably keep reading. So maybe I'll just see what he wants to do and let that make the decision for me. So I will check back in with you when I decide what I want to read. I'll probably do like some B-roll or something of me picking my book. Check back in with you tomorrow and we can talk about what I ended up picking up.
Wish that I could stay in this moment forever, so I can hold you in my arms. I will carry you on my shoulders as long as I down Mabel's, scare the monsters under your bed. Deep and abiding, liking for you is all I need. Until my heart gives in, I will do everything I can for you. You will grow up in the blink of an eye and move out and be on your own. But no matter what comes your way, I will stay right here beside you to catch you if you fall. And deep into
Hello, happy Thursday. So today's one of those days where I'm like made of 90% dry shampoo and coffee. We're just gonna roll with it. I logged in this morning to work, so work is like right here. I realized that the query that I had written yesterday had logged out and you can't save remotely on their server. And I had to completely rewrite it this morning and it was tragic, but I think I got it going again. So that was a fun little restart to the day. So I don't remember exactly how far into Empire of Storms I am. I want to say I'm like 60% or so. I listened to a couple more hours and just worked on my cross-stitch project. I keep meaning to take some like b-roll of it, but I keep forgetting. I'm doing this like Alice in Wonderland in a little keyhole and it's really cute. It's gonna go up on the wall whenever I finish it because some of my favorite ones are up there. I'm working on that while I listen to Empire of Storms, and then I wanted to read something physically because at like 7:45 or so, my eyes started getting tired and I was like, okay, I need to like take out my contacts and just like stop. I was like, okay, well, I don't want to like sit in bed and just stare at the wall and listen to Empire of Storms, which I do sometimes, but I was like, I kind of want to like start something. So I started the next Frat Wars by Saxon James. I think this one is Master of Mayhem, if I'm remembering correctly, and I'm like a quarter of the way into this, and this series is just so stinking adorable. So I read the first one, I think last month, and it is a very like Greek-esque, if you saw that show back in the day on like ABC Family. One of my all-time favorites, but this gives me all of the Greek vibes because it is super like goofy and lighthearted, and it has to do with like frats and stuff like that. But this is a frat romance, and in the first one we were following Chad, who is like this like goofball guy, and in this we were following like his best friend Robbie. Robbie is now having a romance with like, it's like an opposites attract. So Robbie is like the prankster and Brandon is like the frat's risk assessor, and so he's very like safe and quiet, and he talks a lot in this book about he didn't really get to have like a lot of fun in his fraternity because he was always having to be the one to be like sober and making sure that the guys stayed in line and all that stuff. And so this book is kind of about him finally getting his opportunity to let loose. It is so stinking cute. I just love them so much. This series has like no angst to it. It's super lighthearted, and just going from like bittersweet addiction to this, it was a good switch just to like mix things up a little bit. I actually will probably finish this today. I think I only have like 2 hours left or something in it. It's a pretty short book. I'm gonna go get working on my work project and my to-do list, and I will check back in with you guys a little bit later today. Good morning. So it is Friday. Finally, I made myself a vanilla latte since it's Friday, and it is delicious. I've also been a reading machine this week. So last night I finished Frat Wars Monster of Mayhem by Saxon James, and this was so freaking cute. I'm giving this like 4.5 stars. It was so good. So one of my favorite things about this series is that it is super lighthearted, super low angst. Like there is no real drama in this series. It was just so adorable. This is following our two main characters, Robbie and Brandon, who we met in book 1. And Robbie is this kind of like over the top, spontaneous, like goofball. And Brandon has had to be a little bit more serious throughout college because he is like the frat's risk assessor. He always has to be like sober at their house parties, and like whenever they're doing like pranks and like events and things like that, he also always has to come up with like, here's all the things that can go wrong and make sure that all of those are covered. And so he never gets to like participate in any of like the games and stuff like that because he always has to kind of like hang back and make sure that like nobody is injured. So he's starting to feel like he's missed out a little bit because he has taken on this role and he only has 1 semester of college left. Meanwhile, Robbie is just like living it up because he doesn't really want to give up the friends that he made. The two of them form a relationship, and they've always had like a really, really close bond. Like they've always been really close to each other, and they've kind of had this like bickering going on, but they end up forming a relationship. Oh my god, I loved them with my whole heart. Brandon's parents killed me in this book. There's a scene where he's like in bed with Robbie. They're just like watching a movie or something like that because Robbie is sick. Brandon's parents call and they start picking on him right away, and Robbie can overhear their phone call and he starts answering. And so his parents and Robbie like gang up on Brandon and like invite Robbie back to his parents' house for his birthday. It was so cute. I was obsessed with this book. And then we're getting one more in this series, and it's going to be Zeke's story, who is the president of their fraternity. I'm really excited. This Robbie and Brandon was the couple I was most excited for, but I'm excited to see Zeke's story too because I have a feeling that he was in a relationship like the whole time and just keeping it like super secret. So I'm excited to see like how much he was keeping from his brothers in college, because I think he was in a relationship with Charles, who's the other guy. This was really good. I loved it a whole lot. I couldn't put it down last night. I couldn't stop smiling. I loved everything about this. So I have a really long to-do list today. It's early. It's only like 7:30. So I have a really long to-do list today already. I've already gotten the dishes done, thank goodness, because I've been putting that off for 2 days. But today I need to prep for my yoga class tomorrow. I just kind of need to decide on like a theme and everything like that. I also need to set up my goals for next week. I need to set up my planner for next week. I need to run out and pick up my prescriptions because I had to refill all of my prescriptions and I ran out of my anxiety meds 2 days ago, and that's not good. So I need to go pick that up today. And then I need to go to Petco because I'm out of cat litter. And then I need to tidy my office because I currently have 5 coffee mugs sitting in my office because I am terrible about cleaning up after work. And so I need to take care of that. I need to finish up a work project today. It is essentially done. I just need to run it and then hand off the spreadsheet. So I have to do that. And then if I have time, I would like to start spring cleaning the hallway. Oh, there's a lot to do today. Okay. So that's the plan for today. I am still reading Empire of Storms by Sarah J. Maas. I have no idea where I'm at. I think that's it for this checkup. I don't have a whole lot of space left on my phone, so I need to go get my laptop from downstairs, my other laptop, and start moving footage off of here. Today's gonna be a busy day. It's at least sunny out today, but it's cold. So I might do a little bit of sun lamp while I am sitting here like filling out my planner and stuff like that. I might do that just to see if I can get a little bit of energy, because we had like 4 or 5 straight days of rain and it really, really killed my mood. So I might do that while I do some prep stuff here, and then we will get started on the day. I will try to take you along for a lot of this stuff. So I'll see you in a bit. Hello. Sorry if you can hear my dishwasher in the background. It was super full, so I had to run it. I am back from my errands, and I'm so mad at myself for not getting footage because I brought the puppy with me. I don't know if you'll be able to see her. There she is. So I brought the puppy with me because she is not super great about being home alone. She has separation anxiety because I have always been at home, like, since we got her, so she doesn't do great when she's home alone. So I brought her with me because I just had to go through the drive-thru at Walgreens and then go to Petco, and everyone like always loves her because she's so sweet. She's super calm and she lets everyone pet her, and like she doesn't bark like at all ever. Like I've heard her bark like twice. So she's really chill and quiet and cuddly. And so like everyone was freaking out about her. Like the people at Walgreens were all at the window like asking about her. There was like 4 people like crammed against the window at Walgreens trying to like see the puppy, and they're like, "Can we give her treats?" I was like, yeah, go ahead. And then I took her into Petco, and like all of the people in Petco like surrounded her. She was like, what is happening? It was really cute. And I'm mad at myself for not getting footage of it because it was really funny. But I am home now and I've had a really productive morning. It is noon right now. So I am getting ready to kind of like do some sit down things. So I got my planner all set up for the week. I have the majority of my photos prepped. I'm going to finish that while I'm doing all of this stuff. I've got all my errands run. What else did I do? I've emptied the dishwasher, I've reran the dishwasher, and I finished up my last work project for the week. So I just emailed that off, and so I think I'm pretty much done with work for the day. But yeah, so I am going to start moving clips off of my camera off my phone because it is essentially full. I have 15 minutes of storage space left. I'm going to do that. I am going to do a little bit of editing, I think. I think that's pretty much going to be my plan. Oh, last night I started Black Lies by Alessandra Tor, and this is an author that I have had on my TBR forever. So I am going to be reading this throughout the day as well. It's pretty short. It's only like, I think it's less than 300 pages. So I might be able to finish this tonight. I'm just like flying through books. I think that's my plan for the day. I will check back in with you in a little bit, but for now I need to get these clips off this phone before this fills up.
I was never the one to write up a song for just anyone. I was always the one to find myself lost in old conversations. Oh, 'cause I've always been told that things will unfold if you keep on waiting. But then you came along and proved me all wrong. I was so mistaken, 'cause you glue all the pieces back together. Yeah, you take...
Hello. So it is much later. I look a mess, but I wanted to update you on Black Lies by Alessandra Tor. I am DNFing this one. I got to 70% and I figured out the twist like really early on. I kind of started skimming at like the 50% mark just to get to the reveal to see if I was right, and I was right. And then I don't like this twist. This book is pretty old. It's from 2014, and so I don't know like how much this twist was seen at that point, but I've read this twist a lot, and because of that I was just like not about it. I don't like this type of twist personally. I can't comment on how it's handled because I didn't finish the book, but I don't want to talk and spoil. You know what? I'm going to put spoilers up on the screen. If you don't want to know anything about this book, skip over this section. But this uses mental illness as a twist. So he has DID, which is dissociative identity disorder. That's what it's called. It's DID. Essentially, he has multiple personalities. And this is done in a lot of like thrillers specifically, but I've seen it in romances as well, and I don't like it. I don't like when mental illness is used as a plot twist. And so as soon as I started getting hints of that, I was like, I don't know. So I started skimming to see if that's what it was, and that's definitely what it is. So just not about this, DNFing it. Like I said, I technically got to 70%, but I was skimming, so I'm not counting this as read or anything. But yeah, I just wanted to give you that little update. It is nearly 7:30, so considering if I want to listen to my audiobook or if I want to try something else, that kind of like put me off of ebooks right now, so I might listen to some of an audiobook. I don't know what I'm feeling. There's some things that I really, really want to read, but I just finished making my April TBR, and some of them are going to be in April. So like I really want to read Headcase, but I just put that on my April TBR, so I don't want to dip into that. I'm going to find something else that I'm interested in. Otherwise, I'll just listen to Empire of Storms and like hang out on the couch for a little while. But that's it for this update. I'll check back in with you in the morning.
Yeah, you take all my wrongs and make them better. Yeah, you're making me wanna try forever. I feel so free, oh my sweet baby.
Hey guys, so sorry for my appearance. It's like 2:30 on Saturday and I just got out of the shower. I spent all morning, I went to yoga and taught this morning, and then I did, cleaned our landing and our stairwell. Our second floor is officially all cleaned for spring cleaning and decluttered and everything like that. So that was exciting, but now it's like 2:30. I haven't read anything or done anything. Last night I did start another book. I started Voyeur by Fiona Cole, and this is another author that I have wanted to read from forever. I think I've had this thing on my Kindle for like 2 years. I've just never gotten around to it. So I'm reading this. It's pretty short. I want to say it's like 290 pages or something like that. I got like 15% in. Essentially, this book is about this girl who is she's 19, she's a freshman at college. Her tuition check from her student loans ends up getting spent because her parents like don't have much money and their car broke down. And so they ended up spending her tuition check. So now she is kind of in trouble because she is at an out-of-state school and she has no money in order to pay for college. Her friend hooks her up with this job at a club called Voyeur. Voyeur is kind of like an upscale sex club, so it's very expensive to become a member there. It's like $1,000 or something is the dues. And so it's very exclusive, and part of it is a bar, so you can go there and drink and hang out. The employees can sign up for performances. So essentially it is so that people can watch and you can choose the things that you want to do. You can do like solo things, you can do partner things, and people can go onto this app and they can choose their person and what they want to see and have a whole thing. So they're like, oh, I want a shower scene, or I want the one that she does is like, you're coming home and you're laying down in bed to read and things happen. And so she ends up taking this job because it pays very, very well. Her base pay is like $15 an hour and she can make like $1,000 per performance. It's outrageous. So she takes this job and she starts working there, and this guy is kind of like infatuated with her. Like as soon as he sees her, he's like, that's the girl I'm gonna watch. And so he pays for a performance for her, and he pays like double the like normal rate. She does the performance or whatever, and the next day you find out, or he finds out, that she is his student. So he is I think he's like 29, and he is a professor, astronomy professor, and she's a freshman in college and she is now his student, and she doesn't recognize him because she never really saw his face, but he obviously saw her all over. That's where I'm at now. Is I believe it's a student teacher. It's also a forbidden romance, not only because it's student teacher, but as a performer at this club, you are not allowed to have a relationship with a client. I'm excited to see where it goes. I'm really enjoying this so far. It's really good. I think I'm going to sit down for a minute and finish up my last little bit of coffee, and then I am going to finish planning out my photos for tomorrow, because I really need to take photos tomorrow because I haven't posted on Instagram. I've posted like 9 times all month. It's a mess. So I really need to plan out photos for tomorrow so that I am good to go, so I can take the pictures in a reasonable amount of time tomorrow, because I do have other things that I need to get done. So I think that's it for this little update. I am going to sit here, do my planner stuff, and then I will go downstairs and read for the evening. This is very precariously placed, so hopefully you don't fall. But I wanted to give you a couple of updates. I just got back from teaching yoga and I am taking photos. I went to the bookstore yesterday and I didn't vlog it because I always forget, but I went to finally pick up a copy of The League of Gentlewomen Witches, and I'm still looking for a copy of the last Harper St. George book. My bookstore doesn't have it for some reason. But I'm not a book talk person. Like I don't get it. I will say that book talk, making indie romances like widely available, is one of my favorite things ever, because I found these at my local bookstore, as well as 2 Mariana Zapata books. So like, Archer's Voice, which is technically from Forever, but like they've never had this before. They had this entire series, and then they had these two Mariana Zapata books, and like that's a solid Barnes & Noble haul. I'm really excited about this. I also finished Voyeur by Fiona Cole, and I'm giving this 5 stars. I really loved this. I'm trying to be less stingy about my 5 stars. I always hoard them for like all-time favorites, and I'm trying to stop doing that because sometimes I give a book 4 stars and I'm like, there was literally nothing that I disliked about it. I just didn't want to give it a 5 star. I don't know. But I'm trying to be less strict about my 5 stars. But I adored this. I loved their romance. They had such good chemistry. This book was steamy. It was such a unique take on student-teacher. It is a hard power dynamic to get right. The way that Fiona Cole did it was so good. The power dynamic ended up being balanced because he is in a position of power being her teacher, but she also has a position of power because he has some trauma in his past. It really evened out the relationship, and like the age gap wasn't huge. She was 19 and he was 29. I loved what this book did. Huge trigger warnings for alcohol abuse and sexual assault, but I loved this. This book gave me butterflies. Like I was so invested in their romance, and I liked everything about it. I liked it a lot. So I'm definitely going to continue on with the rest of the series. I'm so excited about book 2. I might start it today. But yeah, I need to take photos. I have my little setup here, which you can't see. This is my little setup. It's just a blanket that I put on my floor. But yeah, I am going to finally finish taking photos. I took a couple this morning, but I had to leave for yoga, so I am gonna finish that up. So hopefully I can get some good reading in. I still haven't finished my audiobook of Empire of Storms. I don't know what my deal is, but maybe I'll pick that up today. I don't know how much I have left, but maybe I can just like sit and cross stitch for a little while. Who knows? But I will check back in with you one final time to wrap up this vlog. Hey y'all, so it is Monday morning and I have like 20 minutes until my next work meeting. So I wanted to quickly hop on and close out this reading vlog. So last night I finished Empire of Storms by Sarah J Maas, and this is still my favorite of the whole series. For like the last like half hour of the audiobook, I swear I had like chills the entire time. This book is just so good. So much happens in there. Obsessed. And then I also started Lovers by Fiona Cole. I'm like halfway through the audiobook of this one and I'm already absolutely loving this. I accidentally glimpsed a couple of reviews like while I was updating my Goodreads. I saw some like mixed things, but personally I'm loving it. Absolutely love it. So this one is following Jackson, who we met in book 1, and he works at Voyeur as well, but he assists the owner like with his accounts and everything like that. And in this book, he is going to be managing like a new bar that is kind of like a sister business to Voyeur called Voy, and is going to just be a bar, but that's going to be like his project and he's going to be managing that bar and everything like that. He ends up meeting with like a marketing team, and it turns out that one of the people on his marketing team is his best friend from college, who he had kind of like a one-night thing with before his friend ghosted him. Other person on the marketing team is his friend's fiance. The two of them are his marketing team, and they all kind of have an attraction towards each other. I'm obsessed. Fiona Cole's books are so steamy, but they're also like really romantically developed, and so I'm in love with all these characters. It's so good. So I will finish this today. I think I have like 2 or 3 hours left on the audiobook, so I will probably finish that up today, but that is going to be it for this reading vlog. I read so much. This week has kind of been like all over the place rating wise. I'm really proud of my like mood reading week. I say mood reading because I did like kind of mood read, but these were all books that I also had on TBRs for different reasons. This week I read Bittersweet Addiction, which I gave 2 stars. This wasn't my favorite, but I read it. I read Make Me Yours by Melanie Harlow, which I gave 4 stars. I gave Master of Mayhem by Saxon James 4.5 stars. I gave Voyeur by Fiona Cole 5 stars. I gave Empire of Storms by Sarah J Maas 5 stars. I DNF'd Black Lies, is that what it was called, by Alessandra Tor. Now I am reading Lovers by Fiona Cole, as well as The Affair by Gianna Darling. So I finished 5 books. I DNF'd a book and I have started 2 more. That's a pretty dang successful reading week. I am proud of myself, but I have so much footage to edit, so I'm going to wrap up this vlog so that I can get to my final work meeting. I can start editing this video, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye.